All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Gym Life Podcast. I say Gym Life Podcast because, as you know, here at Gym Life Media, we have a lot going on. And the guy sitting to my left is no stranger to the sport of strongman. Many of you know him out there. Well, probably all you do, probably. Even though he's a guy that I've known for quite a while, many have come in contact with him through Strongman Corp. And by the way, I'll put this disclaimer out. My friend Bryan Beaune here isn't officially representing Strongman Corp, although he's officially representing Strongman Corp, only because you know everything about Strongman Corp.
Not representing the Strongman Corp at all. Everything I say is my own opinion.
Yes. Disclaimer. Deanna, I hope that's okay with you. It won't get very hairy at all. Of course, we love Strongman Corp, and Bryan's been a friend of mine. Welcome, Bryan, anyhow.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. So exciting. I'm on the official Gym Life Podcast. I think I've made it.
I know. I think you have. I mean, this is a big moment for you, I'm sure.
Right,
yeah, I get it. You know, a lot of people.
I've been waiting for this day.
There's a long list, Bryan. Long list. Yeah, you've been moving up the list pretty gradually, and finally you're there. So surprise. Yeah, welcome to the big time, baby.
All right,
yeah.
We're here.
So, you know, you've actually been a part of the strongman sport for a long time and been a friend of mine for a long time. We more recently reconnected in the last couple of years because life takes us in different directions. For me, it did. For you, not so much.
Nope.
Because when we started training 20 plus years ago, roughly, it was probably 2001.
My first competition was in 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was 20 some years ago.
Right.
We all came from the same crew, the Fenton Strongman Club
Yep.
at the time. And there was, there was everybody there, but more notably Aaron West, of course, the voice of Strongman, yourself, now who is a head judge for Strongman Corp, and a lot more than that. I was like, what's your title? You're like, head judge. I'm like, dude, you're way more than a head judge. You travel everywhere for Strongman Corp. You represent well.
Yeah, I represent like at pro shows. Like if Dion can't be there at regional shows, I'll be the Strongman Corp representative. So we can have the shows and make sure that they're run efficiently and effectively, and that they're done properly.
You're the right-hand man of Strong. Can I say that? Unofficially?
Unofficially.
Okay, unofficial. Okay. Everything's unofficial here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But I love it. It's having my last competition I did in 2019, the only competition I ever had to get carried off the tarmac or the floor, because my hip popped out a socket doing a circus dumbbell. Oh, Lord. Jesus. And then, COVID hit. And I just kind of like, and going in different directions with my personal life. It was a good time to just retire from competing. And then I was able to get into this position, which was great because I love the sport of strongman so much. It's such a fun sport.
Yeah.
And there's no athletes out there that compare to strongman, strong women, the love that we share with each other. And so it was a great transition for retiring as an athlete to becoming the head judge. For
and we see that more and more in the sport, and even me even taking a bit of a layoff from it through life. As you mentioned, it was just always chomping at the bit to come back into it, which I've been blessed to have so many people with open arms and reconnect.
Yeah.
And certainly with you, I've reconnected and having an opportunity to see Aaron again. But what I was really proud of, and I'll share this moment with you, because I took that bit of 8 or 9 years off of strongman in general just because of life and depression and that kind of stuff, not being able to compete like I used to. And it's one of those things where you fall off and go, fuck, I'm never the same again. But you're right. It's a very embracing opportunity, especially with our sport, because everybody loves the sport so much. We all give back. But I was so proud to see you there. And Aaron, of course, the voice of Strongman. And I thought, man, we fucking started this shit. You got to remember, 21 years ago, there wasn't a lot of strongman clubs around. And I get it. We didn't start it.
Right. No,
it sure feels like we did, didn't it?
Yeah, we definitely some OGs of
There really are,
strongman.
yeah. And you guys have proven you're still OGs because you're still in the sport.
Right.
And we were talking about how we used to go down to Ohio and compete with Steve Slater and free tags and all these guys. And they all somehow managed to stay in the sport. Many of them did.
Yep.
But, boy, what do you think about the sport growth now, man?
It's insane. The money that the pros are starting to get, like the America's Strongest Man moving to Vegas at the Olympia. How awesome is that?
Seriously.
I mean, the Olympia, I believe their goal is to trying to compete with the Rogue Arnold or the Arnold Strongman. And they're going to be, and what's cool about it is, I love the Arnold. I love being there.
Yeah.
But they're top, they have the 10 guys that they hand pick. America's Strongest Man, you had to earn your pro card. You have, and it's open to anybody.
Right.
So that's a pro, where the Arnold is not. So we're gonna have this couple weeks is gonna be insane.
Now, how did that come about, by the way? I mean, because it was kind of last minute, wasn't it? That ASM got an opportunity to finally get. Well, I say finally, right? Get on a stage like that.
Dion, had a relationship with the Olympia for a long time. You know, Masters Nationals, that's been the home of Masters Nationals for as long as I can remember. And so I think somehow through that's
Gotcha.
got what happened. You know?
Right.
You know, obviously, the Olympia has seen the success that the Arnold's having with Strongman. Why wouldn't they want to bring that to Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And so it's exciting. It's really going to move America's Strongest Man to almost, it'll be the second or third biggest show in the world.
You know, I think we're all excited to hear that, Brian, because I think over the years we've needed the movement with America's Strongest Man to be what it really should represent.
Yeah.
And that's the best guys in the world, because we know the American scene is the best scene in the
100%.
world. So to have that show at that level, I think every one of us, regardless of affiliation, is glad to see what America's Strongest Man is
I
doing.
am so excited for it.
Yeah.
You know.
And big competition this year.
Yeah. Yeah. You got Mitchell, Claiborne, it's an extensive list.
My roommate Josh Hatfield is in it. He's going to, because I'm going out to Olympia, as you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, do the Monica Brandt show. And of course, I don't know if you saw, but I posted on Instagram, our booth is literally like right behind or right in front of the stage at the Strongman, which is cool.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I'll get to see everything there.
Right.
So Taylor Gone and Josh Hatfield are my roommates, by the way.
Okay.
So there's 1,000 pounds of man in this double bed room. I think we all snore. We're fucked, by the way. Or at least,
hope you guys have CPAPs.
oh, I don't think anybody's bringing them.
Or when I judged the Santa Monica Arnold in California, just before COVID hit, and they're like, "Are you gonna have to room with Wes Claiborne?" I'm like, "Man, I hope this guy has a CPAP."
They all are terrible.
And you know, I was so thankful when he showed up. He had a CPAP. I had my CPAP. It worked out perfect.
That should be a prerequisite.
Seriously.
I didn't even think about that, honestly. I don't think we're bringing them, though. Yeah, we're all going to sound like we're dying all night.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody at our size can sleep without one.
Oh, it's so true. My God. It's awful.
It's a game changer for me, man.
Yeah, that's what I hear. We should have a whole show about sleep apnea, because I know everyone. I can have a bunch of guests on this show.
Yeah, well, you know, Stan Efferdine says if your neck is bigger than 16 inches, you have sleep apnea.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
you know, and all of us, you know, we got 20-inch necks.
Sure.
Bigger,
He's probably sponsored by some fucking CPAP company, I'm sure. But anyhow, well, listen, you've got some exciting news too, because I wanted to more the reason to have you on the show than anything, because obviously here in the Midwest or in the Great Lakes area, we've been waiting for a big show.
We got a big show.
And we got a big show.
We got
this
a big
is
show.
It. Yeah.
This is it. I will be hosting in the Detroit area on August 19th, the Midwest Regionals.
Midwest Regionals, to be clear.
The Midwest Regionals, which has Arnold spots, and it's your last opportunity to qualify for Strongman Corp Nationals. So if you want to go to ASM, you have to win Strongman Corp Nationals to get your pro card.
Right.
And so
now,
Regionals is a direct... you have to qualify for regionals as well.
Gotcha. Right. So that's just one qualifier to get into regionals.
Yep.
Right. Regionals, top 3 or top 1 at regionals?
Depends. I think it depends on how many people. I have to look.
Oh, you're right. It did. I think I saw the small print. Depends on how many people you get in the class, right?
Yes.
But with that said, is it just the top 1 that's invited to the Arnold, though? Right. Regardless.
Top 10% for regionals gets Arnold invites.
Top 10%. Okay, that's right. So. Yep, I think I did inquire about that before.
So if you have 10 people, it'd be 1. If you have 15,
right. But generally, when we see nationals, man, anymore, holy shit,
nationals is insane. I mean,
it's nuts.
That's why Strongman Corp. Our direction was not speaking for Strongman Corp. Just my personal
opinion. Unofficial from Bryan. Unofficial, everybody. Go ahead, Brian.
I believe the direction was to make nationals smaller and more competitive, so we are turning out the best athletes.
Yeah.
You know, every American that competes at World's Strongest Man is a Strongman Corp pro.
Listen,
because they won nationals. You know, they win. Every American that competes at the Arnold for the Arnold Strongman under Rogue is a Strongman Corp pro athlete. Every Rogue Invitational Strongman was won nationals.
Listen, that's
the road to success in strongman.
And
you win nationals, you are legit top best in the world.
Yeah, and nobody can deny that. Listen, regardless of your affiliation, regardless of your loyalties and all that stuff, and I get it, and strongmen aren't loyal to anybody. They're loyal to the sport,
right?
To be clear.
100%.
We all know that.
Yeah.
But there's a factual data that is there, and it's simply that Strongman Corp has produced and no knock on Willie and all his stuff. Right to this date, current date, Strongman Corp has produced the best American pros in the world, period.
Yep.
And we can all say that because we all see them
Right.
competing at this high level. Because every super heavyweight out there for right now, the super heavyweights we're talking about, everybody's looking for that path. I'll give you an idea, right? Some people that we know in the state, that train people that we know in the state, simply won't go in any other direction,
Right?
Because they know the quality of athletes they have. So listen, this is the path where I want to take this guy because he'll be there at Giants or he'll be there at Arnold or be there, of course, on the world at the strongest man stage.
Right.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah, that's the truth. So,
Yeah, absolutely,
and
absolutely.
that's why I love working Strongman Corp Nationals.
Yeah.
The intensity and the athletes, it's amazing. Just how fired up everybody is, and it's grueling on us, especially this year. We had what, 3 pallets of sand and 100-something sandbags to fill up, and
so they're putting you to work. Too,
I don't sit in a chair like this all day. I'm moving. I am. As every volunteer at a Strongman show knows, you work harder than the athletes on that day.
Yeah.
You were sore for weeks. That was probably the hardest. This year's the hardest nationals I've worked, but it was great. The athletes that won and turned out were amazing.
It's fun to see. How big was that show this year? What were we talking about as a whole? Do you remember what the competitors were?
The number of competitors?
Yeah.
I think it was right around 200 total competitors.
Yeah, so it's a tightened group.
Yeah,
and
that's that was the reason for having regionals and to make it harder to get to nationals, because we want the best of the best at nationals. You want you don't want somebody coming out there that's zeroing 3 events, because they got some random region, did some local show and top 3 got an invite to nationals or whatever. So by using the regionals format, we're able to cut all that garbage out.
I don't think anybody out there in our sport that legitimately loves our sport and wants to compete at a high level, whether they're that guy or not or that gal or not, doesn't agree with you 100%. Listen, that's exactly what we need to see. Right. It legitimizes our sport as well.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're all more concerned about, right? Let's legitimize our sport. Yeah. Nationals means fucking nationals, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a national guy, you're not, or gal, you're not going to zero fucking anything. You're ready to take on pro level weight.
Exactly.
Or just keep training, we'll see you next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the regionals work, though? The Midwest regionals, if I understand it correctly, there was four regionals?
There's 4 regionals,
okay.
Yep. There'll be one in, I think it's May, June, July, and then August.
Okay.
So they're spread out around the country. I know there's going to be one in Arizona. There's one in Pennsylvania, Tennessee or Kentucky.
Okay.
I can't remember the 4th. I think it's down in Georgia or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're spread out, and they're over a course of 4 months. So you really have a good opportunity to get qualified. And if you don't get that nationals qualification, because you go up against some of these guys that are going to nationals and have a chance of winning in a local show, there's no way you're going to get.
No, that, and I know that. It doesn't work.
There's sometimes some shows you show up and you win every event, and you're like, yeah, and then there's ones you show up and some dude you never heard of just stomps you in the dirt.
Yeah, a very disheartening moment. I've been there. I know.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Where'd this guy come from, asshole?
Who is this?
From California. Like, what are you doing in Michigan at my show? Yeah.
And so that's what having the 4 different regionals gives you an opportunity to you came in second behind just a complete stud to regroup and
listen, we both know, and sometimes you just have a bad day, man.
Right.
And,
yeah.
You need to
get hurt, maybe something.
Absolutely. What are the 5 events for your show? Make it official.
Okay, so the 5 events we're doing.
Yeah.
We're axle, clean, and press for reps.
Yep.
So clean, press every rep.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah. Iron Mine axle. We'll be using Iron Mine.
Yeah.
And then our 13-inch axle deadlift for reps.
Okay.
The heavy yoke walk will be the 3rd event.
Okay.
Then we have a sandbag loading medley.
Okay.
So they'll start first sandbag at 60 feet and then 50, 40, 30, 20 to probably over a yoke, depending on where we're at. I don't know if we'll have
not to
platform.
Shoulder, though, right, Brian, to be clear?
That's the 5th event.
God damn it, Brian.
Sandbag to
shoulder.
I
hate that.
Well, if I have to fill up all those sandbags,
all right,
for one event,
besides
I might as well make it
we got to give them some love too. I get that. Yeah.
So we'll be doing sandbag to shoulders the 5th event, and that'll be 5 bags as well.
Yeah.
Ascending weight.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So
count me out of count me out. I'll be there to help you judge though. If you need somebody to help
All
you
right,
fill those
perfect.
bags, I'll be
Yes.
there for you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Fuck those sandbags, man. Can
Yeah.
we just get over the sandbags, Strongman? Cerberus, I'm not saying anything against you. You know I love you. But can we just cut back on these fucking sandbags
Well,
for
you
a
know,
minute?
it's they. There's nothing that I feel in training as a gym
Yeah.
owner. There's nothing that makes somebody stronger than
It's
freaking
true.
throwing around some
It
sandbags.
is true. It's dead weight, man, in the worst way.
Atlas stones, they'll make you strong, but they're fixed. They're
Yeah.
hard. You can use tacky, but sandbags, it's just
Yeah.
a loose bag, just floppy, or
Right.
it's
Good
it's-
training to pick up a dead body.
right,
Seriously,
exactly.
yeah, it's freaking nuts. How about a bag over bar or something like that? Why
Well,
can't
that's
we-
the medley will be a bag.
Oh,
over
really?
bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
if
right.
you
All
don't-
right.
you know.
Not bad. I guess if I get a big enough lead, then in the master's class, I'll be all right. Right. So, we love this master's class.
Yeah,
Brian.
dude, it's
Take
great.
nothing away from the masters
Yeah.
out there. I love looking at it that way because back when we were looking at it as open guys, we'd go,
Right.
"Oh God." Now I look at it and go, "Okay, that's
Yeah,
negotiable."
I can do that. Yeah.
That's not a problem. Yeah, how is it? How is the growth of the sport coming from that perspective? Let's talk about that for a minute because I generally don't get to see as much Strongman Corp, but that's why we're having it back in the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
because we need more Strongman
Yeah.
Corp shows here.
And that's what I really rallied for. I was like, I have to have a big show. We, as I'm not only the head judge, I'm the state rep from Michigan.
Yeah,
And so it's like last year we had one show. I'm like, man, I'm kind of failing in that aspect. I need I need to bring some back. So we have that show August 19th, Midwest Regionals. But we also have, I'm meeting with some other people, hopefully next week, that want to do a Strongman Corp show.
Oh, good.
In the spring in
Yep.
Detroit.
That's awesome.
So
good.
we'll have a good another local show, and that'll be a good launching platform for those, in case you don't make it to, if you don't get your invite for nationals, you can at least qualify for regionals, hopefully, and then have regionals right
Yeah,
here.
and listen, I just to be biased because obviously that's my state. I love it because we need more exposure to the sport for consumers. We need
Right.
more exposure for new athletes,
Yeah.
and having an opportunity to work within the entire strongman community and not just one organization. Listen, we all know competition is a good thing, so
Yeah.
we love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it gives people options too.
Yeah,
so.
100%. And it's good, for us. If we're doing what we're doing down here, and then the more athletes we bring in to a show down here is going to help George up north.
Yes, absolutely.
And his shows are top notch.
Yeah.
He's-
But hey, man, let's represent like we used to, right? I bitch about it to the guys that we used to run with all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the
used to-
history in this state?
Yeah, we used to dominate.
Oh, man.
Fenton Strongman Corp.
They would
show
travel.
up.
Remember the shirt?
Yeah.
Remember we always said we wanted shirts go Fenton Strongman Crew travels because
right.
we'd go anywhere to compete against anybody.
And people hated seeing us show up because they knew we were taking everything.
Dude, look at the guys we produced, right? Blake and obviously Aaron and yourself and maybe me for a while, but it was always competition.
Yeah.
And that was always fun to see. And to see these guys, again, doing what they're doing now is even more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think about the Masters class right now in Strongman? Let's talk about that for a minute because you got two old guys sitting at the table right now. It's worth mentioning because I love that growth in the sport.
Masters Nationals every year has just gotten better and
Isn't that
better.
awesome?
The last year I competed in Master Nationals in 2018.
Yeah.
And the weights on that were weights that were similar to what I did in 2007
right.
Nationals.
Yes.
I was like,
The evolution.
Wait a minute.
Right.
This is it was like a 320 farmers. Like, this is the heaviest farmers I've ever done.
Yeah.
And the yoke was 850, I think. And
Yeah.
so it's like,
The growth of the sport has dictated this, right? Yeah.
And the athlete ability
Yeah.
that these guys are coming into Masters now are just in so much better shape and
They're
strong. It's a great show, man.
They got a different playbook these days, man.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, I've said this many, many, many times. The programming, the knowledge, the know-how, the implement training. I mean, geez, we throw caution in the wind back in the day. It was like, oh, let's just do everything on one day for 5 straight hours. And they go back to the gym on Monday and bench press.
Yep.
I mean, there was no logic to any of it.
No.
And now we're seeing, of course, the evolution of that with weights, like you said, walking into a master's class.
Yeah.
But what I really love the most about it, especially now coming back into it late after my hip surgery and all that, is that it's generational now. And we're seeing strongman represent at 30s and 40s and 50s. And I highly doubt we'll ever see past 50s, but the competition at 50s is nuts. At 40s, you got Savickas in that motherfucker. I mean,
At Static Monsters, I had a guy that was in his 60s.
oh, that's right, you did. Yeah, that's right, you did.
And so that's cool.
How cool to see that, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Stupid, man. It's so stupid to see it. It's so much fun. But you're right, the weights really aren't much different. I
Not
know.
anymore. I mean,
No.
they're Masters is about 15 years behind, whatever
Yeah.
the current is. So,
Yes.
15 years from now, they'll be doing the Nationals weights from this year.
It's so hard to imagine, but after everything we've seen in the sport, we have no reason to doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, especially with the women in the sport too right now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, the stuff they're doing, it's like
It's
exponential every week.
I think that's the greatest thing
Yeah.
in strongman right now is the women. They are bringing an audience that I never thought we'd have. When we first got in, there was maybe one woman in a competition. They didn't even have
if you're
nationals
lucky,
for women.
and they're putting all of them together to make a class.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now there's shows where women are outnumbering the men, and and it's great to see. I love it. And there's some badass women out there, man. It's awesome.
All shapes and sizes
Yeah,
too. I mean, I was just talking about the 64s to a friend the other day, and that class is fun.
Yeah.
Amazing strength in these women.
Yeah.
And then those super heavyweights, or I don't know what you call them, the open class women, heavyweight
Open,
women.
Yeah.
300-pound overhead pressing, 700
600-pound
yokes.
deadlifts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
You're not a guy that's stepping into this sport right now because of ego.
Yeah.
You're checking that fucker at the door, dude.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm serious. Yeah.
You cannot have an ego stepping in. And,
No. Shit, you go to one show, you might not come back after seeing that women's class.
Yep.
See you in 3 years. But yeah, it's been so much fun to watch the sport of strongman grow, and we have a certain sense of pride that we take in it, and I think that's really what keeps me smiling ear to ear and doing this stuff that I do, and I know doing what you do. It's love of the sport, man. So maybe someday they'll make movies about this shit and stuff, and somebody will play you, somebody will play me, or whoever, right? Anthony or any number of people that represent this community at a high level or try to. We're blessed, man.
Yeah, we are.
We truly are.
We are truly blessed to be able to step outside of the competition side and still be as active as we are in the community.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it in any other sport, man.
Yeah, not many people get that opportunity.
No, and there's just common bond. There's still this brotherhood. I mean, if you haven't got under a heavy yoke in years, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to prove it anymore.
Yeah.
Although I still want to fucking prove it.
Right.
Taking over the world 2023. I'm telling you, for
for
Masters class.
Every now and then I have to put out a video of me doing something strongman related. But the judge does lift.
Just every now and then.
Yeah, I lift.
Yeah. I see Nick Best retired this year. I was like, thank God. Okay, that's
Is
one
he
more
though?
rank.
Is
Yeah,
he?
I don't know. He's
he-
posting that shit like the other day. I'm like, I thought you retired. What
Yeah.
does that mean? He'll be back next
Right,
year.
100%.
He'll retire like 4 times before
Right.
he's done. You made the podium at OSG. You're not retiring. Don't give me that shit, Nick. You're not retiring.
No.
We know that. That's a Strongman Corp guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being WSM years ago, or not ASM.
I remember. I think it was 2007 in Vegas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think that's when he won, or
Yeah.
it was right around there.
Wow, isn't that something? There's a guy we're talking about having some length in the sport.
Yeah.
These guys been at top of the game for 20 plus years
Right.
now. Crazy. Well, we'll have to have you back on because I know I would like to just reminisce on our other show,
Yeah.
just about all the good Michigan history. Get Barkley up
Definitely.
here. Barkley's been calling me.
Has
wanting
he?
to get up here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. I
That would
haven't
be a
seen-
good roundtable
Yeah.
there. You guys would be able to go back and forth more than I would.
Yeah, I haven't
Because I know
seen
you had
Barkley
some
in
history there
forever.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to it. But thanks for joining me. Bryan not representing Strongman Corp today.
Nope.
Unofficially, guys, he's not even here. This is an invisible chair. Nobody even sat down today. But thanks for joining me, Bryan. I
That was
appreciate
great,
it.
man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, man. We'll see you soon.